Are you having a problem with your HVAC drain? In today's video, I want to go over some of the things that I think you need to know about. Yes, you, not a technician, not a pro, you as a homeowner, because some of these things can play a big role in future issues. But before we get into all of this, do me a favor. If you get anything out of our content, hit that like button and subscribe button. We do videos as the industry is changing and things you need to know about hit the market. And so for more HVAC tips, make sure you stay tuned. But let's dive into this. I think HVAC drains are a big deal. I think a lot of folks don't even think about them until they are a problem. And the first thing I think you should know as the homeowner is, where are they? Where are they located? I can't tell you how many times I've been to someone's house to fix the air conditioning and I've said, hey, where's it even located? And it's okay if you don't, but I would say the next time you do call a pro, make sure you're doing business with someone that is willing to share that information with you. They're willing to take you around and, show you where the drains are, what they do in some cases, and educate you on what exactly you have. So that way, you know what to do if there is a problem. What if that system stops operating or starts leaking through a ceiling on a Saturday night? You want to know how to take care of that or what to do to get that remedied. And just know there are different types of drains. There are, we see PVC drains coming off of a lot of systems. We'll see the vinyl tubing coming off of a condensate pump. I've seen other materials used that would be considered antiquated. I've seen copper drain lines and ABS drains, all these different materials that folks will use. And that's a whole nother topic I'm not going to focus on in this video, but just know where they're located, what they're doing, what's our primary drain, an emergency drain. There are emergency drains that will come off of the secondary drain pan and sometimes be, say, sticking through a soffit. And you as the homeowner will know there's a problem if that drain starts dripping before there becomes a bigger problem. But again, if you don't know that, you don't know what you don't know. Another thing to mention as we go further down this rabbit hole is a lot of codes and restrictions, inspectors, localities, all of that, they're starting to focus on the drains more. They're requiring things like labeling the drain. What's this drain do? Is it a primary drain? Where does it come from? And something I've always done is just simply take a Sharpie and write on not just the drain, but the heating and air system. If I replace a filter, if I just installed that system, I'm going to write the date that it was installed. I'm going to write lots of different communication to possibly myself or future technicians to say, hey, this is the primary drain. This is the emergency drain. I might even write where it's being routed to. This drain goes to the back of the garage, an arrow or whatever. The point here is, if you are seeing this video, you may decide to go ahead and label things, even if they weren't labeled before. Learn something new from your pro or technician, write that on there. Next, let's talk about if you're watching this video because you're actually currently having a drain that's backing up. Maybe it's slow draining or it's completely clogged. I have seen other YouTube videos where guys will talk about using products that blow the clog out. They'll use different gases like nitrogen or compressed air, CO2, whatever the technology is, but it'll blow a blast of whatever through that clog and try to get that drain draining again. I will caution you, please don't do that. And I'll tell you why. I can't tell you how many times I've seen guys blow drains loose. Maybe the fittings weren't primed well, and when they glued it together, blowing that gas through there will actually make that drain come apart. Sometimes that's not easy to repair. But another thing is, some of these materials that these drains are made out of, specifically PVC, it's a very brittle material. So if you go blowing a bunch of pressure through there, I have seen them, they don't bulge, they don't give a little, they will break apart. They'll explode because you've pushed a bunch of air through there. And so in contrast, I think 90% of the time, simply just using a shop vac on the end of that drain, that goes back to you knowing where things are located. You need to know where does that drain come out of the house, and being able to clear that drain with a shop vac. In some cases, you may have to cut the drain, or you have a union there to separate that drain apart, and then you can and then throw the vacuum on each side of that. But whatever the case is, being able to clear that drain with a shop vac, I think, is not just effective, but protects you from some of these situations we just described. And so to avoid backing up, I think we need to talk a little bit about maintenance. Yes, I think you should be having your heating and air system maintained. I think having a pro checkup on a system goes a long way, making sure there's nothing wrong. But I think there are things that a technician should be actually doing at least once a year, such as throwing a shop vac on the end of that drain. But I also want to see them treat the drains. I was always a big fan of the drain tabs. I know there's arguments to be made for different products that are out there. Some folks will even argue doing simple things like pouring laundry bleach down your drains. But I will say, I would caution you against putting anything acidic or corrosive down those drains. And part of the reason is I just saw a Facebook post a couple weeks ago where a technician posted some very graphic photos of his legs where he had 3rd-degree burns because he had poured one of these products down the drain and it did not make the clog break loose. So then he tried to push air through it and it ended up pushing back and it got on his pants. And before he could get home and get his clothes off and get a shower, the product had actually burned his skin severely. So just be careful what products you're using. But again, I would be doing something. There's algae buildup, there's biofilm, there's all these different things that can happen and make that system not drain well. And some of these products will inhibit those problems. Another thing to note is a drain, this may sound simple, but a drain does need fall. It needs to be able to go downhill with gravity. And as simple as that sounds, I can't tell you how many times I've seen a strap come loose that needs to be repaired, making that drain can have fall again. But I've also seen systems where the technician that installed that system did not have fall the entire way. And I mean the entire way. I don't want to see any level spots. I certainly don't want to see any spots where the drain goes uphill. And if you can't achieve that, if the run is so long that you can't achieve having fall the entire way, or for some other reason, I think you need to then consider other options like a condensate pump. Yes, pumps go bad, but they can go uphill. You can put the drain in locations and get it out of the home in situations where you could not achieve complete fall on the primary drain. And just know, if you do have a backup, yes, there are pumps that need to be maintained, but there's also switches on those pumps. There's other switches on the drain pan, the drain itself, secondary switches that are on the secondary drain pan, etc. All of those switches are designed to open if there is a backup. So that switch will open and it will kill power to however it's wired up. So maybe that might kill power to the thermostat and it could go blank. I did a whole video on 5 reasons your thermostat might be blank that I'll put a link to down in the description of this video. But those switches might also kill power to just the outdoor unit or the complete system itself. But whatever the case is, those switches are there to protect you, to protect the heating and air system, to protect you from having water come through your ceiling, for example. An open float switch is not a bad thing. It means it protected you. And sometimes just simply, again, grabbing that shop vac and clearing that drain can make the switch close and work again. And I think the last thing to mention here is most electric systems that, the air conditioning is really the only time that system is going to produce any sort of condensation, then you don't need to necessarily worry about the drain in the winter time. But with today's technologies, with some of these systems creating condensation, possibly it's a high efficiency furnace. The flue pipe gets below dew point and condensates back down into the furnace. And now you've got this water that now needs to be drained out of the home. Just know there's a risk for that system to now freeze. So if you've got this drain poked out, I've seen systems where there's a icicle that's formed or it's completely frozen and backed up, clogged the drain itself. There are tricks that we pros can do to help alleviate that. There's products that we can heat that drain. We might be able to shorten the drain or reroute it, whatever we've got to do, possibly even install a condensate pump to alleviate that problem. But just know that is a risk, that if you do live in a very cold area and in the wintertime you have a drain that is condensating, that it could freeze. Finally, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments section. Are you having an issue with an HVAC drain, or have I missed something that you think should be mentioned? I'd love to hear about that. If you like this video, I think you'll like this one too. It's where I talk about a feature a lot of today's thermostats have that homeowners don't know about. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button for more HVAC tips. We'll see you next time.